grade 7 students. I am teacher Noreen and you are watching DepEd MP TV. What is common among books, television, and the social media? Yes, you are correct. They all give information. In your previous lessons, you have learned that there are various sources of information to help you in your learning. Thanks to the advancement of technology that has made information accessible and possible to all. Today, we will discuss your 8th and final lesson in the 4th quarter with the topic Composing an Informative Essay. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to first,
define what is an informative essay. Second, identify the parts of an informative essay. And third, compose an informative essay using mechanics of writing.
I am sure you'll be learning much on sharing information through writing an informative essay.
An informative essay is a kind of writing which explains and tells something. It also gives directions. It is also called expository essay.
For example, if you wrote about your favorite ant, you would be writing an informative or expository essay telling us something about your ant. Likewise, if you wrote an essay which gave directions for making a paper airplane, you would also be writing an informative or expository essay which gives directions.
So there are 3 in structure of an expository essay. The first one is the introduction. The introduction is the beginning, which needs to present the topic and grab the attention of the audience. It needs to include the definition of the topic you are writing about. It should include a hook, a background of facts, a thesis statement, and the transition sentence. So what is an essay hook? An essay hook is a couple of the very first sentences of your essay introduction that spark your reader's interest. You can include some eye-opening statistics and add some wordplay. After that, you may want to add background information that will evolve into the thesis statement. What about a thesis statement? A thesis statement is the main topic your essay will revolve on. A good rule of thumb is to narrow your thesis statement so that you can fit into the required word count without compromising your research quality. After writing a thesis statement, you need to include a logical transition to your essay body. So how do we logically arrange our informative essay? So we may use some transitional devices. You may use first, second, third, next, then, and finally. The second part of the structure is the body, which describes your topic in the essay, and it must contain the following. First, the topic sentence, which explains the paragraph's main point and connects it to the previous one. Second, under the body is the information, which include facts, statistics, and thesis supporting evidence. And the third one is a mini conclusion, which summarizes your paragraph and add a transition to the next one. The third part of an essay is a conclusion, which is an informative essay conclusion with the following. First, the restated thesis statement. The second one is a summary of body paragraphs. And the third one is the final word.
Here is a sample of an informative essay for you to better understand the terms that I discussed. This is entitled Philippine Typhoon Names. Have you ever been curious about how typhoons in the Philippines are named? How does the Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAG-ASA come up with typhoon names like Bruno, Jolina, and Queenie. Naming storms may sound like a trivial idea, but there's more to typhoon names than meets the eye. PAG-ASA has been giving local names to storms that enter the Philippine area of responsibility since 1963. It wasn't until 1998 when the public was involved in naming typhoons in the Philippines. That year, PAG-ASA held a Name a Bagyo contest that had Filipinos send their proposed local names for typhoons. From the nominations, a committee chose 140 Philippine typhoon names. Before it gets inside the par, a tropical cyclone already has an international name from the World Meteorological Organization. Why does PAG-ASA still have to give a local name to the cyclone once it enters the Philippines? The Weather Bureau assigns familiar yet distinctive Filipino names to typhoons for an effective recall among the public, especially in the provinces. Assigning an easy-to-recall name to a typhoon helps draw public attention to its disastrous effects. It also highlights the fact that a storm within the PAR is a threat to the country. Thus, having local typhoon names helps in disaster risk awareness and preparedness. Okay, so let us go over the essay that I have read. The introduction of the paragraph begins with two questions. The first question, have you ever been curious about how typhoons in the Philippines are named? And the second question, how does the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration or PAG-ASA come up with typhoon names like Bruno, Jolina, and Queenie? We call this the hook part, which aims to grab your attention as a reader. The second paragraph, still in the introduction, contains the thesis statement. It presents the main topic, how typhoons are named. Note that a thesis statement is stated in a sentence form. Naming storms may sound like a trivial idea, but there's more to typhoon names than meets the eye. The body of the paragraph, which begins from the third to the sixth paragraph, contains the answers to the questions in the introduction by providing details. It also explains the paragraph's main point. The transition device before was also used to show the connection of the details. Finally, the conclusion part is introduced by a transitional device, thus, to state the final word, which is, thus, having local typhoon names helps in disaster risk awareness and preparedness.
To give you a clear understanding of an informative essay, I will now be presenting to you an essay for your first activity. Let us read the essay together as I read it orally and you read it with your eyes. The aim of this activity is for you to identify the parts of an essay.
5 reasons you must be proud as an Igorot. If you are starting to get the feeling of disliking your identity as an Igorot, just because many outsiders or people from the lowlands use the term Igorot in a pejorative manner, then these 5 reasons will revive your spirit and help you to love your identity as mighty dwellers of the majestic Cordilleran Highlands. The term Igorot is an old Tagalog word meaning people from the mountains and is a general term used to include all tribes from the Cordilleras. First, our ancestors were among the bravest of Filipinos. The way our Igorot ancestors fought the Japanese invading army during World War II is a testament of their bravery. Their gallantry and heroism were recognized by General MacArthur of the American Army. Second, Igorots built the eighth wonder of the world, the rice terraces of Cordillera. The terraces are located in the remote areas of Cordillera Mountain in the northern island of Luzon. They are the product of the ingenuity and high engineering knowledge and skills of the Ifugao ethnic group who occupied these mountains over 2,000 years ago. Third, the Igorots produce 80% of vegetables that supply the entire country. The province of Benguet holds the record of being the main source of vegetables that supplies the entire country. At least 80% of vegetables supplied to Filipino kitchens come from farmers in the highlands of Benguet. Fourth, Igorots are the best MMA fighters in the Philippines, as proof of their ancestors being the no-fear men and women. Igorots today are known to be among the best MMA fighters in the Philippines. Today, Edward Folayang is regarded as a symbol of Philippine martial art together with world boxing champion Manny Pacquiao. Fifth, Igorots are hardworking, intelligent, handsome and beautiful, and romantic. The being hardworking and intelligent aspect of an Igorot are clearly seen on how we turned the whole mountain into a rice terraces and vegetables terraces. You can find any book about how to design a mountain into an incredible source of livelihood. You feel inspired and awed by the beauty of the transformation, but behind those terraces is a hardworking and intelligent Igorot men and women. I am sure these 5 reasons are enough to remind you and make you even prouder of your Igorot descent. As for me, I am a forever proud Igorot.
Using your pen, paper, and your learning activity sheet, I will now give you a 10-point multiple choice activity from the essay we read. You will be given 5 seconds to answer each question. Listen carefully and write the letter of the correct answer on your paper. You may pause the video as you answer each item. Are you ready? Let's begin.
What is the essay all about? A. History of Igorots. B. Origin of the word Igorot. C. 5 reasons why we must be proud to be an Igorot. And D. 5 important aspects of the Igorot life. Number 2. What is the meaning of the word Igorot? A. People from the sea. B. People from the mountains. C. People from the caves. And D. People from the air. Number 3. What is the meaning of pejorative as used in this sentence? If you are starting to get the feeling of disliking your identity as an Igorot because others use it in a pejorative manner, then these 5 reasons will revive your spirit. A. Disrespectful. B. Complimentary. C. Discouragement. And D. Appreciative. Number 4. Transition signals used like first, second, third, fourth, and fifth were used to introduce the blank of the paragraph. A. Introduction. B. Thesis statement. C. Body. And D. Conclusion. Number 5. How did the writer organize the details of the text? A. By using descriptive words. B. by explaining the 5 reasons to the readers, C. by citing examples, and D. by using transitional devices. Number 6. Which statement from the essay is the hook part? Letter A. If you are starting to get the feeling of disliking your identity as an Igorot, just because many outsiders or people from the lowlands use the term Igorot in a pejorative manner, then these 5 reasons will revive your spirit and help you love your identity as mighty dwellers of the majestic Cordilleran Highlands. B. The term Igorot is an old Tagalog word meaning people from the mountains and is a general term used to include all tribes from the Cordilleras. Letter C. I am sure these 5 reasons are enough to remind you and make you even prouder of your Igorot descent. Letter D. As for me, I am a forever proud Igorot. Number 7. To whom is the essay addressed? A. Igorots who are proud of their descent. B. Igorots who are affected by discrimination. Letter C. Igorots who are challenged by negativities. And letter D. All of the above. Number 8. What is the concluding paragraph of the essay? A. As for me, I am a forever proud Igorot. Letter B. These 5 reasons will revive your spirit and help you love your identity as mighty dwellers of the majestic Cordilleran Highlands. Letter C. Igorot is a general term used to include all tribes from the Cordilleras. And letter D. Igorots today are known to be among the best MMA fighters in the Philippines. Number 9. What details support this statement? Igorots are hardworking, intelligent, handsome, or beautiful and romantic. A. The way our Igorot ancestors fought the Japanese invading army during World War II is a testament of their bravery. B. The terraces are located in the remote areas of Cordillera Mountain in the northern island of Luzon. Letter C. At least 80% of vegetables supplied to Filipino kitchens come from farmers in the highlands of Benguet. And letter D. The being hardworking and intelligent aspect of an Igorot are clearly seen on how we turn the whole mountain into a rice terraces and vegetables terraces. Number 10. Among the 5 reasons stated in the essay, which supports the statement, their gallantry and heroism were recognized by General MacArthur of the American Army. A. Our ancestors were among the bravest of Filipinos. B. Igorots built the 8th wonder of the world, the rice terraces of Cordillera. Letter C. Igorots are the best MMA fighters in the Philippines. And letter D. Igorots produce 80% of vegetables that supply the entire country.
Let us now check your answer.
Number 1, C. 2, B. 3, A. 4, C. 5, D. 6A, 7D, 8A, 9D, and 10A.
How many did you get? Wow! Give yourself a tap for a job well done. You will now apply the knowledge you learned in the lesson through a second activity. You will read the statements below, which are the skeleton of an informative essay, then arrange them into topics to details. One of them is the big idea. Rewrite them on the space provided on your learning activity sheet to show the structure of the ideas.
A good apology has 3 parts. B. It's difficult to accept and say out loud that you hurt someone. C. Apologizing opens up a conversation for the 2 people to talk. D. Apologizing can be hard. E. Admit what you did. F. You might be scared that the other person won't accept your apology. G. The importance of a good apology. H. It's challenging to admit that you made a mistake. And I. Apologizing helps the other person know you care.
Here is the answer for Activity 2. You are now one step closer to finishing your tasks. To sharpen your skills more, I will be giving you your final task. It's time to write your essay. You will now finalize the skeleton of the text you have arranged in Activity 2. The informative essay rubric below will guide you to write a meaningful essay.
In your informative essay rubric, remember to have an introduction, a body, and conclusion. You can do it. And here is the answer in your final activity.
Excellent! I congratulate you for trying and giving your best. Writing an informative essay is easy. Before you write, remember that the purpose of an informative essay is simply to educate the reader about a particular thing, be it a term, event, and natural phenomenon. There are also 3 structures or parts of an essay. The introduction, where you will grab the attention of your readers, the body, which will support your thesis statement, and the conclusion, where you will summarize what you have stated in your introduction. Easy, isn't it? I hope you have learned much today about composing an informative essay. Remember, in writing an essay, it takes patience to practice to make things perfect. This is Teacher Noreen, and you are watching DepEd MP TV. Keep learning. Bye-bye!